that in some sense that we are an F equals ma culture, to quote the famous formula by Newton. And thus we think of, and Lewis, and this is also just Lewis in his Cambridge address in 1954, the De Descriptione Temporum. We think of ourselves in terms of machines. Lewis says that we've now lived with machines for so long that it's snuck into the DNA of our language, our metaphors, and thus controls our feelings about ourselves, our success in our life, right? I mean, we want to be productive in life. We want to maximize our potential. We go to human resource departments. And if, we revert to default modes and don't have bandwidth to cover things, the level of sort of like mechanized metaphor that's moved into our vocabulary is astonishing when you begin to kind of count these things up. And so our medieval ancestors, in some sense, were the exact opposite. They didn't want to hit the accelerator and accomplish more work within T squared, but they wanted to experience what Boethius called the simultaneous experience of the fullness of life, the simultaneous experience of the fullness of life, eternity, in which that's how he defines eternity. And I think we sort of sense this as moderns, right? That we have, who knows, even now perhaps, we have these types of moments in which we recognize that something from outside of the simple dimensions is beginning to move in. And I wish I were better at actually resting in it, delighting in it, praising it, worshiping in it, and moving into this sort of state, your whole podcast, in which I have more Christ, in which I can sort of, stand in that, in firm, steadfast stability. I think that's what our medieval ancestors thought that their art was for. That's why they built cathedrals and wrote poems and created what we would badly call symphonies, because they're not really symphonies, because they work differently. The music works differently. The music is meant to freeze time, as opposed to hasten through it.